Welcome inside Bountiful High School for a High School Rewind Game of the Week. I am Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us. Our matchup, the Bountiful Braves and the American Fork Cavemen. Welcome, everybody. So glad to have you along with us. The best game in the state is right here for you on High School Rewind between Bountiful and American Fork. Let's start with the Cavemen. AF comes into this game. They are 4-1 on the year, number 2 in the Deseret all classification poll, and number 2 in 5A just behind Lone Peak. And they come in tonight with a trio of players who are having outstanding seasons. First and foremost, Ryan Andrus. Ryan is averaging 15 points a game. He's the BYU commit. The big fellow's done an outstanding job at pacing the American Fork Cavemen to get started. Tanner Roston's averaging 12 points, and Brendan Bailey is averaging 11 and having a terrific year as a sophomore for AF. So they'll be the key tonight, and it'll also be very important for the backcourt to contain about the 2 young men we're going to talk about here in just a moment for Bountiful. Bountiful comes into this game 3-0 on the season, coming off a buzzer beater win against Layton on Tuesday, looking to ride the momentum in this ball game. It'll be a lot of fun. They are number 3 in the overall Deseret News poll and number 1 in 4A. This is the favorite in the 4A classification for the championship, and they are absolutely flying high to get started. Sam Merrill, Utah State commit, is averaging 16.6 points a game to get started. Zach Celias is the BYU commit, averaging 14 points a game, and then Jordan Bleak averaging 10. That trio is going to have to play very well. It'll be interesting to see the front court. If Mr. Parrish can stay in this game, he's the big man. He's going to have to take care of Andrus. Can he stay in the game and not get into foul trouble early? That'll be a major key for the Bountiful Braves. We know our team, some players, and a couple of keys to the game. We come back, we'll have the opening tip-off. And you are watching High School Rewind only on Xfinity On Demand. And welcome back inside Bountiful High School. We are set for the opening tip-off. American Fork in the road blacks and the Bountiful Braves in their home whites. This should be a dandy. Ryan Andrus steps in against Jeff Pollard and is controlled by Rawson and the Cavemen. Bailey off the baseline. Throw Bailey's son with the first 2 of the ball game. 2-0 to lead to AF. Back down the floor we go with the 4A semifinalists in the Bountiful Braves. We saw them beginning of last season, and they continue to get better and better. And Zach Celias, who has the ball on the angle, was a young man that skyrocketed through scouting, everything, and going to BYU now. Very exciting for a young man that wasn't on the radar at the beginning of the last season. Drop inside, Pollard, shake and bake, up and under on Tanner Rawson. And that's 2 points for Jeff Pollard. Ties us up at 2 to get started. A lot of energy in the gym to get going here in this ball game. We mentioned number 2 and number 3 in the overall rankings. The number 1 team in 4A, the number 2 team in 5A. As Ryan Andrus with his first 2 of the ball game, and the Cavemen up 4-2. Quickly back down the floor, and that's another 2 for Jeff Pollard. 4-4 our score. Back down the floor we go with the Cavemen on the far side with Brennan Bailey. Just a sophomore. Here's Tanner Rawson. Rawson in the lane, floated up, too strong. Rebound taken by the Cavemen. Inside out, Bailey for 3. Hand it downtown for Brennan Bailey. He's now got 5 of the 7 points for the Cavemen. 7-4 lead. Quickly down the baseline. Celias floater, no. Tipped up and in. Andrew Lund with the putback. 7-6. Did this game a year ago. Was an outstanding game. Andrus had an outstanding night for the Cavemen and that nice win. Bailey again for 3. And that's off the rim. Rebound taken by Pollard. Quick up the floor now. Sam Merrill. Merrill to Celias. Celias pump fake. Step inside the arc. And in and out. It looked like it was going to drop. Rounded out. Back down the floor we go with the Cavemen. Coach Meacham. A little more fun coaches at State of Utah. I know he watches High School Rewind. And that's another 3-pointer for the Cavemen. That was Spencer Johnson, a sophomore guard from downtown. 10-6 the lead for the Cavemen. Pollard on the angle. Celias for 3. Zach Celias from downtown. Our score now 10-9. Down the floor we go with Johnson. Now Bailey. Bailey widens out. This is Taylor Rawson. Rawson on the angle with Johnson. Now Brendan Bailey. Bailey working on Merrill. Fall-away jumper off the front of the rim. Rebound taken by Celius. Celius on the run. Celius weaving his way through. Gives up to Lund. Lund outside. Straight away, Pollard hands to Sam Merrill. And Merrill will try to drop it inside. Telegraph that pass. Picked off by Johnson. Johnson loses the handle. Larson loses the handle. Andros tracks it down. And we'll give it up to Johnson. Here's Rossum. Frenetic energy. Not necessarily pace, but frenetic energy to get started here. There's Tanner Rossum. Rossum put on the floor, hard to the hole, try to terminate, shuffle his feet. Absolutely. Good call here near side. Turnover will go with Bountiful. Celius to bring the ball up the floor for the Braves. Looking to take their first lead. Here's Sam Merrill. Merrill will split. As he split off the foot of American Fork, will stay here. Merrill the trigger. Gets it into Celius. Hands it back to Merrill. Merrill back to Celius. Celius from deep downtown, and Celius wide and right, and that will go to the Cavemen. Rossum inbounds to Ryan Andrus. Last year, Andrus was gaining attention from likes of SUU and Weber State. He quickly kind of about the same story as Zach Celius, maybe a little bit more pub with Andrus, but got better as the year went on, did Andrus. Here's Taylor Larson, the son of Russ Larson, former BYU great. Back on the angle here with Taylor Larson. Russ works on the KSL, the basketball games now with Gregor Bell and Mark Durand as that ball is poked out of bounds by Parrish, and will stay here with the AF. 3:32 remain in the first quarter. 10-9 the lead for the Cavemen. Tanner Rossum tried to find Andrus behind the defense, and that's going to stay here. Went off of Parrish. Johnson to inbound. Gets it into Andrus on the backside, swatted away by Lund. No, that's Parrish. We'll stay here. Inbound to Bailey. Bailey directing traffic, drops it in. Andrus spins right into the hands of the defender, and that'll be a foul on AF. Andrus made the first and rattles in the second. 12-9 the lead for the Cavemen. 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Here's Bleak, who picked up that foul, the first foul of the ball game for either team. On the angle now with Trevor Lloyd. Looking around the horn, here's Celius dropping inside Pollard. Pollard, a little deep looking for Merrill, stolen by Johnson, saves it in, and correctly calls it the backside of the backboard. We'll stay here with Bountiful. Celius to inbound to Merrill. Merrill with the left hand, and good. Nice find from Celius to Sam Merrill. 12-11, the lead for AF. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first. Down the baseline. And stepped out of bounds. Turnover once again for American Fork. Will go the other way with Bountiful. So after the turnover by Braden Harris, down the floor we go. Sam Merrill in the corner. Bleak for three. That's off the mark. Andrus with the board. Give it up to Johnson on the run. Now it's Cavemen. Quickly up the floor to Bailey. Bailey down the baseline. Bailey will float it up. No. Merrill on the board and on the run. Merrill. Nice find inside, losing the handles. Work it again around the top of the perimeter. Here's Merrill from the top of the key. Merrill to the left hand, Merrill to the hole. No, on the layup. Contested by two Cavemen. Larson with the board. Down the floor we go with Johnson and American Fork. Outside, here's Brennan Bailey. Bailey now Taylor Larson. On the angle, three on the way from Johnson, and Johnson rattles it home. Spencer Johnson from the outside. There's off the hand of Bleak. Tried to save it, won't. 1:48 remaining. It'll be AF ball. So after the turnover, 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining. 15-11. The lead for AF. That ball there poked away. Nice defense near side. Trying to pressure the young sophomore. That was Trevor Lloyd, one of the quarterbacks for the Bountiful Braves. Drop it inside. Rossum outside. Three on the way. And off the front of the iron, off the hand of Harris. So there's a foul on AF. Foul goes to Brennan Bailey, first team foul on AF. 1:25 on a running clock in the first quarter. Here's Sam Merrill. Goes off the screen. Here's Celius. Celius inside the free throw line. Fall away jumper is good for Zach Celius. Now on the floor we go. Now 15-13 our score. Fun first quarter. Here's Bailey on the angle. Near side Johnson. Johnson working on Lloyd. Terminates. And gives it up to Rossum. Rossum, nice pass inside. Nice move by Harris. Reverse it, can't finish. Celius ahead to Sam Merrill. Merrill working on Rossum. Merrill with the bump and can't get it to go. And that'll be a foul on Tanner Rossum. And it'll be 2 free throws coming the way of Sam Merrill. Merrill made the first. Look to tie the game up with this one. Lips out, 15-14 our score. 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Johnson will walk it up the floor. Here's Harris. Now Larson. Looking inside to Andrus, drops it in. Andrus along the baseline. Stolen by Celius. Go the other way, 25 seconds. Celius down the lane. Celius with the bump and finish. Oh, that could have been an and one. And Bountiful takes their first lead, 16-15. 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And AF will bring them out the floor, look for the final shot of the quarter. Nice finish by Celius. Thought it might have been an and one opportunity. And back to Larson, drop it inside to Andrus. Hook shot along the baseline, won't go. Rebound to Rossum. 1 second. Now count if it goes, and it's off. No good from Larson. And an exciting first quarter of play. Bountiful leads 16-15 over American Fork. Beginning of the second quarter, Bountiful took the lead for the first time right at the end of the quarter. Here's Celius, had a nice opening to this game. Here's Sam Merrill on the far side. Merrill to Lloyd. Lloyd drop it into Parrish. Oh, nice find on the backside, Parrish. And then a foul will be charged to Rossum. That'll be number 2. And that will send, I believe that was Lund. It is. Lund will go to line for 2 free throws. Lund missed the first. Got one more. And the second one rims off as well. Rebound played by Andrus on the run now with the Cavemen. Apologize, don't have a number 20 on our roster. Loses the handle, tips back, taken by Lund. A loose ball picked up by Pollard. Now Lund walking up the floor with Celius. Celius dropping inside. Sam Merrill. Sam Merrill on the baseline, can't get it to go. Rebound collected by Andrus. Now on the move with the Cavemen. AF will set up their offense. Andrus been quiet to get started. It was Brennan Bailey scoring the first 5 points. Here's Larson, try to drop it inside to Andrus. It was poked away by Celius, and we'll stay here. AF to inbound. Harris drop it inside to Andrus. Andrus double team comes from behind. Andrus fall away jumper won't go. Rebound to Celius. Celius will pull for 3. The transition 3, a little too much on it. Rebound to Harris. On the move now. I believe this is Judd. Remember from a year ago, but near side Harris. Drop it inside to Taylor Larson. He'll face and jump it and score it. Nicely done by Taylor Larson. 17-16 the lead for AF. Oh, leaving the man all alone is Bleak with the easiest 2 of this evening. Gives the lead right back to Bountiful, 18-17. Back up the floor we go with American Fork. Here's Brennan Bailey. Now Harris. Harris to Larson. Angled to Andrus. Andrus spins base, fall away jumper, good. Beautiful finish from Ryan Andrus. 19-18 the lead for American Fork. 6 minutes remaining in the half. Here's Celius. Now Lloyd. Lloyd will give it up to Merrill. Merrill back to Celius. Celius thought about 3. Give it up in the corner. 3 on the way from Bleak is good. Jordan Bleak from downtown. 21-19 the lead for Bountiful. And that'll be no travel. Good call here near side. And the turnover will go back with Bountiful. Johnson comes in for Condi. We apologize for not being able to have that number. Didn't have it on the roster. 21-19 the lead for Bountiful. 5.5 remaining in the first half. Celius gives it up to Merrill. Bleak thought about 3, wisely hangs on. will back it out and set up the offense for Bountiful. Bleak working on Brennan Bailey. That pass off the mark. Lloyd can't save it, and we'll go back to the Cavemen. Full court pressure is shown by Bountiful, then retreat out of it. Johnson brings up the floor. The trap was coming in the corner to Bailey. Skip pass, open three, and good. Braden Harris, the junior guard from downtown. 22-21 the lead for AF. Lloyd along the baseline. Gets a back out top to Merrill, back to Lloyd. Corner three, rattles in and out. Celius working on the boards with the putback. Zach Celius kept that alive. Gets the two, 23-22. The lead back to Bountiful. Harris thought about three, hangs on. Bailey will step inside the arc. Hands it back to Harris. Harris has it stolen away by Lloyd. Going the other way with Lloyd. Goes up and blocked from behind. And we're going to have a foul on Harris. Had to anticipate that. The right hand went by. The left hand may have got the block, but it looked like a foul from behind. And it'll be two free throws coming the way of Mr. Lloyd. Lloyd missed the first free throw. Now one more. And back rims the second. And the rebound taken by Brennan Bailey. Bailey up the floor. That was Jace Gibb. Andrus in the corner. Harris for three. And misses. Tapped out by Andrus. Tracked down by Gibb. And Gibb is standing out of bounds. And we'll go with Bountiful. After the turnover, 23-22 the lead for Bountiful. 4 minutes remaining in the half. Here's Sam Merrill. Now Parrish. Parrish will jump it. And a big fella rattles it home. He was active early in the first quarter. First bucket of the second quarter there. Here's Harris moving down the floor. 25-22 the lead for Bountiful. Dropping inside Andrus. Back out to Gibb. Gibb drop it back into the big fella. Spin base. Left hand. Forcing it a little bit to get started is Andrus. Quickly on the run now with Celius. Celius has that ball poked away by Gibb. But Parrish is there, and then Bleak loses it. Nobody wants to hang on to it. 25-22, the lead for Bountiful, looking to extend their lead here. Here's Celius. So much said about him. Celius just a junior. He's got another year of high school. Float over the top. That pass picked off by Gibb. Miscommunication. Here's Harris back down the floor. Harris goes right at the big man. And can't finish it. Pardon me, that was Johnson. Celius to the board. Now ahead to Merrill. Merrill will pull the transition three. Just like Celius, wide to the right. Rebound by Pollard. Puts it up and in. 27-22. Timeout, Coach Beecham. 27-22. Bountiful leads AF. 2:54 remaining in the half. But have struggled as of late here in the second quarter. Get something going. Here's Johnson bringing up the floor. Young sophomore guard. Got a trio of sophomores playing the point this year for Coach Meacham and AF. Such a talented roster. Here's Gibb. Now Andrus. The angle with Larson. Back to Harris. Harris lost the handle. Got it back. Hands it back to Gibb. And now we'll take their time. Will the Cavemen set something up? Got a tough road to hoe for AF. We mentioned they're number 2 in the Deseret poll. But in the same region, they have 2 matchups with Lone Peak, neither of which will be played at a home site. Both will be played at the UCCU Center. Johnson, nobody home. He thought Bailey's be standing on the wing. Nobody home. Turnover for AF. Bountiful looking to extend their 5-point lead. 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Lloyd back to Celius. Here's Bleak. Now Merrill on the baseline. Lloyd back to Merrill. Cross court. Bleak thought about it. Drops it into Parrish. Parrish working on Andrus. Right hook and good. Parrish, a nice job at creating space with the body. Gave him enough room to make that shot comfortable. 29-22, 7-point lead for the Braves. Gibb dribbles into the corner. Back out top, Harris now to Brennan Bailey. Mr. Gibb got lucky. You don't pick up your dribble in the corner with a trap. Drop it into Andrus. Double team coming behind by Merrill. Oh, nice find to Gibb to the hole, swatted away. Nice play by Bleak, and Andrus tried to pick that off, couldn't stay in bounds, and will stay with Bountiful. Final minute of the first half. Cross court, Bleak, now Celius, here's Merrill. Now Lloyd. Back to Bleak, here's Celius. An impressive first half by Bountiful. We mentioned that squeaker in the beginning of the week, and now looking to bleed this last minute. We've taken the time to do it, and we'll continue to. A shot clock in high school basketball is much needed. Last minute of a very well contested first half, just be able to bleed this down without being forced to play offense. I have all the respect in the world for the coaches of the state of Utah, but got to find some way to help the defense out and to help the game out as well. 5 seconds on the clock. Here's Merrill. Merrill down the lane. Gets caught. 2 seconds. That will count if it goes, but it's off the mark. That will count if it goes. And that'll do it for the first half. At the end of the one half of play, it is Bountiful 29, American Fork 22. Ready to get started for the second half. It's a 7-point lead for Bountiful. And AF will start with the ball. Here's Johnson. It's a tough second quarter for AF offensively. A lot of turnovers and mistakes. Need to turn in a good third quarter here, trailing by 7 and not let this get out of hand. Nobody home on the skip pass from Rossum. And we'll go the other way with Bountiful. Here's Lund. Lund to Celius. Holding on, looking into Pollard, who's played very, very well in that first half against Andrus. Now Merrill had that pass picked off by Larson. Larson going the other way. Pirouettes in the lane, floats it up, won't go. Rebound by Rossum, swatted away from behind by Lund. Ball is still loose. Rossum has it and calls timeout. 7:15 remaining in the third, 29-22, Bountiful. So back after the timeout, here's Rossum. Give it up to Brennan Bailey. Bailey gets it inside. Andrus did not see Celius standing right behind him. Poked it away. On the run now, Zach Celius. In the corner. Bleak for three. And that's short. Rebound. Still loose. And picked up by Celius. Celius on the baseline. Floated up. No. And the rebound taken by Bailey on the run now with Johnson. Johnson set up the offense. Inside to Andrus, has that ball stolen by Lund. Bleak will lead it up to Merrill. Merrill holding on, back to Bleak, over to Celius. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. One bucket in the second half. Here's Sam Merrill. Merrill played football as well this year for Coach Larry Wall and the Bountiful Braves. It's a man on the outside for Bountiful. Hand back to Bleak. Bleak down the lane. Bleak gets by and Andrus swats that out of bounds. And will stay here with Bountiful. Merrill to trigger the inbound. Gets it into Bleak. And he'll set up the offense for Bountiful. Down the baseline. Celius to the hole. Lays it up and in. 31-22 the lead for Bountiful. Drop it inside Andrus. Double team leaves. There it is. He spins baseline. Pass along the baseline is knocked out of bounds by Bountiful. We'll stay here with AF. Shot on the way from Larson. No good. Rebound taken by Bleak on the run now with Bountiful. Bleak down the lane. Bleak with the left hand. Tried to draw a foul. No call. Here's Celius in the corner. Bleak. That's for three. No. Rebound to Lund. Lund, power dribble, has that stolen by Larson, picked up by Celius. And we get Larson for the foul. It'll be the first team foul of the half. He'll be inbound near side. Merrill Gets it into Celius. Now back to Sam Merrill. Been fairly quiet offensively, has Sam Merrill. Lund. Now Pollard. Try to go over the top to Celius, and we have a foul on the floor. That'll go against Harris. It'll be the second team foul against AF. Celius to trigger. Gets it into Bleak, now to Sam Merrill. Here's Pollard. Lund. Everybody standing outside. Here's Celius. Merrill, now Bleak, drop it inside Celius. Celius will jump it. Too strong. Rebound taken by Andrus. On the move now. Here's Larson. Larson straight away. Andrus will pull for three. And Andrus showing some range. Rolled his ankle as well. 31-25. First bucket of the second half comes just inside of 4.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 10 points since the beginning of the second quarter for AF. It's 15-10 since the end of one. Here's Bleak. Now Celius. Celius has three defenders around him. Gets it back out to Bleak. Now Sam Merrill. Merrill inside. Nobody rotated for Andrus. Andrus came out and hedged the screen. Nobody rotated over to his man. 33-25. Johnson, Perowitz in the lane, is fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot two with 3:34 remaining in the third. Johnson missed the first free throw and makes the second. 7-point lead now for Bountiful, 33-26. Celius will walk the ball up the floor. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remain in the third. Here's Merrill. Touch and go screen with Parrish. He'll jump it over to Andrus. Off the window and good. Pollard having an outstanding evening. Bailey goes hard to the hole, and there's the late call. There was contact on the play. The frustration of the whistle was late. There'll be two free throws for Brennan Bailey. Bailey made the first free throw. And the second, 35-28. So back out on the floor we go with Bountiful. Here's Merrill. Pollard again comes out for the screen, guarded by Bailey. Here's Pollard, cross court, Bleak. Thought about three and hangs on, gives it to Celius. Celius back in the corner. And now Merrill will set up the offense. Merrill to Bleak for three. And Bleak buries the shot from downtown. 10-point lead now for Bountiful, 38-28. And that pass stolen by Merrill. Here's some showtime opportunity for Sam Merrill. Timeout AF. 40-28, the lead for Bountiful. After the timeout, AF trailing by 12 have got to find a consistent piece of offense, and it's been difficult tonight. Bountiful playing extremely well. Johnson dribbles all the way to the hole as that's swatted by Pollard, and will stay here as Andrus hits the deck again and rolled up his ankle. Johnson to trigger the inbound. Andrus is fine, walked off the floor. Gibb will set up the offense now for the Cavemen. Here's Brennan Bailey. Bailey going to take out, get Celius in the air and off the window. No, the putback. Did they wave the bucket? Yes, they did. No, wave the bucket, and the foul is against Rossum. Wave the bucket off. 40-28, it's still our score. So we count the bucket from Tyler Rossum. 40-30 our score. Here's Merrill. Merrill working on the smaller Gibb. Now on the switch. Goes hard to the hole. Too strong off the window. Rebound to Gibb. On the run now. Here's Johnson. Larson. Now to Rawson. Rawson, jump stop, off the window, no. Rebound to Celius. Pulling up the floor now, pushing the ball, here's Bleak. Bleak to Pollard, power dribble in the lane, and he's fouled. I believe this will against Larson. Wise foul there by Larson. Put the big fella on the line. Pardon me, that foul goes against Spencer Johnson. Merrill inbounds to Pollard. They'll work it back out to Celius. Minute 15, we'll see if Coach Maxwell, what he looks to do here. Out to Merrill. Merrill now out, then we'll work it back around, and now inside of a minute. Here's Celius down the lane. Celius off the window, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. 48.5 remaining in the third. First free throw was good from Celius. He makes them both. 42-30, the lead for Bountiful. Playing very, very well in this ball game, especially defensively. 12-point lead, now 40 seconds remaining. As AF has had a hard time finding offense tonight. Here's Gibb, now Andrus. Johnson, now Bailey. Bailey gets it into Rawson. Rawson outside, and we're going to have a foul on the floor. It'll be the 13th foul charged to Bountiful. Johnson inbound to Andrus, now to Brennan Bailey. Bailey guarded by Merrill. Here's Rawson. Rawson hard to the hole, off the window, too short. Rebound. Lassay by Andrus, and will stay here as they say off of Bountiful. Johnson the trigger. He goes deep in the backcourt to Rawson. He'll hand off to Johnson. 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Johnson working on Bleak, 4 low. Hands back to Bailey. Bailey will jump it for 3. And that won't go. Rebound to Celius. He'll count if it goes. And just short and to the right. And that'll do it for the third. Bountiful extending their lead 42-30 over AF, heading to the fourth. Beginning of the fourth and final quarter. 42-30 the lead for the Braves. Back down the floor, here's Merrill. Here's Lund. Put Bailey on Celius. And now that pass trying to get that to Bleak, slotted away. Celius has back to Bleak, and now Merrill. And here's an argument for the shot clock. Great defense by AF is not rewarded by anything other than Bountiful holding on the ball and still being able to run off another 30 to 45 seconds of the clock as they take their time. Here's a pass into Celius, batted away by Bailey. And they're going to say off of Celius, and we'll go with AF. Inbound to Andrus. Now Johnson. Here comes Johnson down the floor. Johnson down the lane, and a foul, and 1. Nice take and finish by Spencer Johnson. And it'll be a 3-point opportunity for American Fork. Johnson at the line for the 3-point play. Makes the free throw. 42-33. Bountiful still leads. Big question down the stretch is going to be, can Andrus get going offensively? Been a terrific defensive scheme. Putting players right behind him in the post. And has disrupted him all night long and kept him from getting really involved in this game. Bleak for 3. And that's off the mark. Rebound taken by Bailey. And on the run now with Johnson. Johnson outside of Rawson. Back to Johnson in the corner, looking into Andrus. Back to Rawson for 3. And that's too strong. Rebound taken by Merrill. And Merrill bringing up the floor for the Braves. 6 minutes and 40 seconds on a running clock in the fourth quarter. Hand off to Celius. Celius working on Brennan Bailey. Now to Bleak. Here's Bleak again. Hand off to Lloyd. High post, drop it in to Merrill, working on the smaller Johnson. Merrill terminates. Oh, nice find to Pollard. Pollard up and under. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Andrus. Missed a point-blank shot. An opportunity to extend the lead. Can AF make him pay? Here's Andrus, top of the key, drop it into Rawson. And Rawson will be fouled on the floor by Celius. This will be the 15th foul charged to Bountiful. First personal foul to Celius. Johnson to trigger. Gets it into Rawson. Rawson's jumper, no. Rebound collected by Bleak. Empty opportunity there for American Fork. Here's Lloyd. Now to Pollard. And off to Celius. There's Merrill. Celius off the screen to Pollard. Will jump it from the free throw line, extended, won't go. Rebound, we're going to say off of Merrill, and we'll go with the Cavemen. Now their opportunity here for American Fork. Johnson, got to be aware. The trap came, taken away by Celius. Picked up, here's Merrill. Merrill goes right to Andrus at the rim. Pardon me, that's Rawson. There'll be a foul to Rawson. Merrill will go to the line to shoot two. And the second 11-point advantage now for Bountiful. 44-33, 5:15 remaining in the fourth. Again, AF is going to have to find some offense, but it's been outstanding Bountiful defense in this game. On the angle to Harris. Harris to Bailey. Bailey working on Merrill. Oh, nice move behind the back, inside the lane, too strong. Board to Harris, he'll float up with the right hand. That's taken by Lund. Empty opportunities for the Cavemen. Another opportunity to extend the lead for Bountiful. 4:45 now on the clock. Here's Celius. Off the screen of Lund. Drop it inside, and Merrill will back it out. Here's Lloyd. Bleak back to Celius. Good. Foul on Bailey. Bailey just tried to jump in front and force him to move, but it is a foul on Bailey. The line for 1-1. That was a 17 foul charge to American Fork. And it rattles out. Rebound to Rawson. Down the floor we go with American Fork. Looking to climb into this ball game. Here's Bailey. Now Rawson straight away. Drop it into Andrus, and one. Foul will go to Lund, and Andrus will go to the line looking to complete the three-point play. Pollard looking to get back in this ball game. Pollard back in the game. Andrus rattles home the free throw. 44-36 our score. That was a 16 foul for Bountiful. Will be in the bonus for both teams the final half of this fourth quarter. Lloyd on angle, Merrill. Off the screen, Pollard. Pollard will jump it from the free throw line. And Pollard continues to have a strong game. Nice shot from Pollard. Back down the floor, Spencer Johnson. Johnson in the corner, Harris dropping inside. Rawson. Rawson goes out to Bailey, picked off by Sam Merrill. Merrill working on Johnson. Merrill will miss it. Will go to the line to shoot two. That foul will go against Spencer Johnson. The first. Rattles out the second. 11-point lead for Bountiful. Inside 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the game. Andrus near side of Bailey. Bailey working on Merrill. Bailey will pull up inside the arc and got it to go. Can't play any better defense than Merrill did there. A nice shot by Bailey. 47-38, 3:05 on a running clock. Celius walks it in the front court. Hands off to Lloyd. Now Merrill. Merrill has that pass off the leg of Andrus. Picked up by Harris. Now the run with Johnson. Johnson crossed to Bailey. Bailey for three. And that's no good. Rebound to Merrill. Another missed opportunity. Quick shot from the Cavemen. And that's a timeout taken by Bountiful. 2:38 remaining in the fourth. 47-38 the lead for the Braves. 2:38 remaining. It's going to take defense for AF to get back in this game, and Bountiful has played very potent offense. Here's Lloyd, now Merrill. Merrill outside to Bleak. Here's Bleak, has the ball stolen. Taken by Harris. Harris to Bailey. Bailey terminates. Now Johnson. Bailey for three, and Bailey from downtown. 47-41 on the three-pointer by Bailey. Inside of 2 minutes, 1:55 on a running clock. It'll continue to be defense for AF down the stretch. Here's Celius. Celius down the lane. Oh, nice find to Merrill. Merrill swatted away by Rawson, but we're going to have a foul, and it'll put Sam Merrill at the line. Merrill missed the first free throw. And makes a second. 48-41, 1:45 on a running clock. Bailey has that pass go through Harris's hands. Too tight of a window. Bailey needs to bring that ball up the floor. We'll go back with Bountiful. After the timeout, full court press coming from AF. Get into Merrill, and Merrill is fouled by Andrus. Put Sam Merrill back at the line. Double bonus. Merrill made the first, 49-41. And makes the second. 9-point lead. Up the floor now with Johnson and the Cavemen. 50-41. And that's a tough offensive foul on Andrus. Came out to set the screen, and that'll pretty much do it for this ball game. So Celius bring the ball up the floor, a minute and a half remaining. Now Merrill. We'll hold it out for this last minute and a half and force AF to foul. And that ball stopped away, taken by Lloyd in the backcourt. Lloyd has retreated, has the ball poked away from behind. Now Rawson. Rawson to Bailey for three. And Bailey from downtown. Pulls him back within 6. Timeout, Coach Meacham. 50-44 with 1:02 remaining. After the timeout, inbound for Bountiful. Got into Pollard. That was the one to foul. Here's Celius. Gets up the floor to Lloyd. Now Merrill. They're going to foul one of their better foul shooters. Missed opportunity for AF. He had the center with the ball in his hands. You have one of their best shooters going to the line now, Sam Merrill. Merrill made the first. And the second. 8-point game, 52-44. 50 seconds remaining. There's Johnson off the screen of Andrus. Johnson down the lane. Johnson off the window. No, rebound to Pollard. And Bailey with the foul, and Pollard will go to the line to shoot two. Makes a second. 53-44. Here's Bailey. Got to get moving here. 34 seconds on the clock. Now Rawson. Rawson to Andrus. Andrus from deep downtown. And Andrus from way outside. 30 seconds on a running clock. Celius to inbound. Gets it in to Lloyd. Went for the steal, got it ahead, and there's a foul. And that'll put Lloyd on the line. 54-47 our score. And makes a second. Push it up to 8. Inbound to Johnson, 20 seconds remaining, and what a nice win for Bountiful. We mentioned they had a tough game earlier in the week against Layton. And that three is good from Johnson inside of 10 seconds. Now 5 seconds, there's a foul to Lloyd with 4. Lloyd will go to the line to look to ice this away. So after Lloyd missed them both, he had a lane violation, 3 seconds remaining. And this will do it. Bailey will count if it goes. And a nice win for Bountiful. Final score, Bountiful 56, American Fork 50. As a battle between two top 5 teams in the state goes the way of the Bountiful Braves. A nice win in the pre-region part of their schedule. Getting a win by 6, 56-50 over AF. Stay tuned for our post-game wrap-up. And welcome back to Bountiful High School. Again, our final score, the Bountiful Braves 56, the American Fork Cavemen 15. A nice win for Bountiful in the pre-regions part of their schedule. Getting a nice win over the number 2 ranked team in the state of Utah, the number 2 ranked team in 5A, and really flexed their muscle. And it wasn't their offense, although it was very good. It was their defense was the difference tonight for Bountiful, holding Ryan Andrus really scoreless. He had a couple of shots down the stretch, hit a couple of threes, but really disrupted this offense for American Fork, who never got on firm footing throughout the ball game. And it was a nice job by Celius and Merrill pacing the Bountiful Braves to the big win tonight. The first half, I thought really the X factor in the ball game was Mr. Parrish. Thought he played outstanding down the block, playing defense against Andrus, but also offensively really showed up and played very, very well. for Bountiful, and then down the stretch made a couple nice plays. But it was Sam Merrill down the stretch hitting free throws, had the ball in his hand doing nice things, and that'll make him our high school rewind player of the game tonight with his performance. Did an outstanding job hitting those key free throws down the stretch as well. Let's talk about AF. Brendan Bailey played a very good game, very aggressive offensively. Really thought Ryan Andrews played pretty well. We mentioned the defense scheme was very, very good from Bountiful. Still thought Andrews showed some good things, showed a lot of range, especially straight down the barrel from the outside. It stepped out, hit a big, long three-point shot down the stretch. Thought he did very well, but not enough tonight, as it's Bountiful's night, as they were able to flex their muscles and show what they are inside the state of Utah. Again, our final score: the Bountiful Braves 56, the American Fork Cavemen 50 for Tino Psyche. I'm Dusty Lister. Thank you for watching High School Rewind, only on Xfinity On Demand.